The quiet fading of our own strength is a sorrow many of us face in silence. We feel it in the morning, a stiffness that wasn't there before. We see it in the mirror, a softness replacing what was once firm. This is not just about vanity. It is the deep, primal fear of losing the vessel that has carried us through life. Most people will chase a single solution, a magic food or a new pill, and completely miss the profound shift in understanding required to truly preserve their vitality. The secret is not a substance, but a system. 99% will miss the final part of this discussion, where the entire structure is revealed, and without it, everything else is temporary. Shifting perspectives. We have been taught to see the body as a machine that, with age, inevitably rusts, breaks down, and wears out. And so, when we speak of this journey into our senior years, the language we use is one of combat. We fight aging, we battle muscle loss, we combat weakness. This perspective, while born from a desire for control, places us in an adversarial relationship with the one thing that is always with us, our own physical form. It turns our most loyal companion into an enemy. But what if this entire framework is flawed? What if the body is not a machine, but a garden? A garden requires understanding, patience, and cultivation, not warfare. It changes with the seasons, and each season has its own beauty, its own purpose, and its own requirements for care. The wilting of a plant in autumn is not a failure, it is a natural, necessary transition. To see the changes in our bodies through this lens is to move from a state of fear to a state of awareness. It is the first and most crucial step. The loss of muscle, what science calls sarcopenia, is often viewed as a simple deficiency of protein. We are told to consume more, to force more building blocks into a system that seems to be failing. We turn to eggs, to whey, to dense meats, believing that if we just shout louder, the body will have no choice but to listen. But a wise gardener does not simply throw seeds onto barren soil. They first ask, what is the condition of the soil itself? Is it receptive? Is it nourished? Is it burdened by toxins or neglect? The challenge we face is not merely a lack of materials, but a breakdown in communication between our intention and our physical reality. We are asking the body to build and maintain a structure without first ensuring the foundation is clean, the supply lines are open, and the master builder, our own mind and awareness, is present and clear. This requires a shift from brute force to intelligent cooperation. It requires us to listen to the subtle signals the body sends, rather than trying to silence them with ever-increasing dosages of what we believe it needs. This journey is not about reclaiming the body of a 20-year-old. That is a ghost, a memory. Chasing it is a recipe for frustration and despair. Instead, the goal is to cultivate the most vibrant, capable, and resilient version of the body you inhabit right now. It is about fostering a deep and abiding respect for the vessel that has served you for decades. This respect is not passive, it is an active daily practice. It is expressed in how we choose to nourish ourselves, how we choose to move, and most importantly, how we choose to perceive the process of life unfolding within us. When we release the desperate struggle against time, we free up an immense amount of energy. This energy can then be reinvested into mindful, compassionate care. The question then changes from how do I stop this to how do I support this process with grace and wisdom. This change in questioning is the key that unlocks a completely different path, one of peace and sustainable strength rather than conflict and inevitable loss. It is the beginning of true self-mastery, true nourishment. The modern world is obsessed with components. We break food down into proteins, fats, carbohydrates, vitamins, and minerals. We see a plate of food not as a holistic offering of energy, but as a collection of parts. This is why we single out foods like eggs. We see protein and we believe we have found the answer, but this is a profoundly limited view of nourishment. True nourishment is about more than just building blocks. It is about the quality of the energy, the information that the food carries into your system. Think of it this way. You can build a house with bricks that are brittle and poorly made, or you can build it with stones that have been shaped by the earth over millennia. Both are building blocks, but the resulting structure will have a vastly different character, a different resilience. The energy of our food matters. Was it grown with care? Is it clean, simple, and unburdened by excessive processing? Does it resonate with life, or does it carry the energetic signature of stress and artificiality? When we consume food, especially as we age and our digestive fire becomes more gentle, we must consider the cost of admission. Every meal requires an investment of our body's energy to break down, assimilate, and utilize. Heavy, complex foods, like dense animal proteins, can demand a significant toll. They can be difficult to digest, leading to inflammation, sluggishness, and a diversion of precious energy away from repair and maintenance and towards the sheer effort of processing. It is like trying to heat your home by burning wet, heavy logs. You might eventually get some warmth, but the amount of smoke, soot, and effort involved is immense. The fire struggles. True nourishment provides clean, efficient fuel. It gives more than it takes. It supports the system rather than burdening it. The goal is to find foods that offer the highest quality building materials for the lowest possible energetic price. This is where we must look beyond the obvious, beyond the marketing, and reconnect with a more ancient, intuitive wisdom about what truly sustains the human body. This is not to say that any single food is inherently good or bad. Such labels are a product of the dualistic mind. Rather, it is about understanding appropriateness and consequence. What is appropriate for a body in its later seasons? What are the consequences of our choices, not just for our muscles, but for our entire inner ecosystem? The conversation must expand from protein content to digestive ease, inflammatory potential, and energetic quality. When we eat with this expanded awareness, our choices naturally begin to shift. We are no longer just filling a void or satisfying a craving. We are consciously participating in the regeneration of our own being. We are selecting the very information that will become our cells, our tissues, our vitality. This is a sacred responsibility, and it is in this sacred space of conscious choice that we find the foods that truly serve us, that build us up without tearing us down, and that honor the wisdom of a body that asks not for more, but for better. Humble strength. So, what is this surprising food? It is not exotic, it is not expensive, it is not a new discovery. In fact, its power lies in its very humility and its ancient roots. We are speaking of legumes, lentils, chickpeas, beans. These are the forgotten powerhouses of the plant kingdom. For generations, cultures around the world, known for their longevity and vitality in old age, have relied on these humble gifts from the earth as a cornerstone of their diet. Why? Because they embody the principles of true nourishment we have been discussing. They offer a profound combination of high-quality, easily assimilable protein and complex carbohydrates, providing both the building blocks for muscle and the sustained, clean energy needed to fuel the body's processes. Unlike heavy animal proteins, which can be acidic and inflammatory, legumes are grounding, stabilizing, and, when prepared correctly, remarkably gentle on the system. They are the epitome of building with clean, strong, earthen materials. The argument against plant-based proteins often centers on the idea of them being incomplete. This is another fragment of the mechanistic worldview, the idea that we must get a perfect, pre-assembled package in every bite. The body, however, is far more intelligent than that. When you consume a varied diet that includes these legumes, grains, and vegetables throughout the day, the body skillfully gathers all the necessary amino acids it needs. It is a master assembler. The true advantage of legumes is what they bring alongside the protein. They are rich in fiber, which is crucial for a healthy gut microbiome, the very foundation of our immune system and our ability to absorb nutrients. A healthy gut is like fertile soil in the garden of the body. Without it, even the most expensive seeds will not grow. Legumes feed the soil. They also provide a wealth of minerals like magnesium and potassium, which are vital for muscle function and nerve transmission, aspects of our physiology that become even more critical as we age. To unlock their full potential, however, requires a small measure of wisdom in preparation. The compounds in legumes that can cause digestive distress for some are easily neutralized. Soaking them overnight is not just a tradition, it is a way of awakening the seed, of making its nutrients more bioavailable and easier for our bodies to welcome. It is an act of care that transforms the food before it even enters our system. Cooking them thoroughly with warming spices like ginger, cumin, or turmeric further aids digestion and reduces any inflammatory potential. This is not a complicated process. It is a simple, mindful ritual that honors the food and prepares the body to receive it. It is in these simple, humble practices that true strength is found. Not in a quick, processed shake, but in a slow-cooked bowl of lentils that has been prepared with intention. This is the food that fights muscle loss not by force, but by providing deep systemic and sustainable support. It is the strength of the earth offered in a humble package. Mindful consumption. Possessing the right materials is only one part of building a strong house. The skill of the builder is equally, if not more, important. In the context of our bodies, the builder is our own awareness, and the skill is the way in which we consume our food. You can have the most nourishing meal in front of you, a meal perfectly designed to support your vitality, but if you consume it in a state of distraction, stress, or haste, you will receive only a fraction of its benefits. The process of digestion does not begin in the stomach, it begins in the mind. When you look at your food, when you smell it, when you anticipate eating, your body begins to prepare. Saliva is produced, digestive enzymes are secreted. This is the body's way of getting ready to welcome the nourishment. If your mind is elsewhere, watching television, scrolling on a phone, engaged in a stressful conversation, this crucial first step is skipped. You are, in essence, throwing the food into a system that is not ready for it. The simple, ancient act of chewing is one of the most powerful and overlooked practices for health, especially as we age. Chewing is the mechanical breakdown of food, making the job of our stomach and intestines infinitely easier. It is the first and most critical stage of digestion. When we fail to chew properly, we place an enormous burden on the rest of our digestive system. It has to work harder, expend more energy, and often fails to extract the full spectrum of nutrients from the food. This can lead to indigestion, bloating, and, most critically, malabsorption. You may be eating the perfect food to preserve muscle, but if you are not absorbing its constituent parts, it is of no use. Making a conscious choice to chew each mouthful until it is liquid is a profound act of self-care. It is a meditation. It slows you down, forces you to be present, and allows you to truly taste and appreciate the food you are eating. This presence enhances the entire digestive cascade, ensuring you get the maximum value from every meal. This practice of mindful consumption extends beyond the mechanics of chewing. It involves creating a calm and settled environment for your meals. Take a few deep breaths before you begin. Express a moment of gratitude, not in a religious sense, but in a universal recognition of the long journey that this food has taken to reach your plate, the sun, the soil, the water, the hands that cultivated it. This small act of shifting your inner state from one of stress to one of gratitude has a measurable physiological effect. It calms the nervous system, moving you from a fight or flight sympathetic state to a rest and digest parasympathetic state. It is only in this latter state that your body can properly and efficiently do the work of digestion and assimilation. Eating in a state of peace and presence is the skill that ensures the humble strength of the food we choose is fully integrated into our being. Without this skill, the finest ingredients in the world can become a burden rather than a blessing. Harmonizing movement, nourishment, no matter how perfect, is a potential. It is fuel in the tank, bricks piled on a construction site. For that potential to become reality, for that fuel to move the vehicle, for those bricks to become a wall, there must be a demand, there must be an intelligent request from the body. This request is made through movement, Without movement, the muscles have no reason to uptake the nutrients you so carefully consume. The body, in its profound wisdom, will not waste resources building or maintaining tissue that is not being used. Therefore, the partnership between mindful nourishment and mindful movement is not just beneficial, it is absolutely essential. One cannot be effective without the other. To eat well but remain sedentary is to deliver a message of decline to your body. To move without providing the proper fuel is to ask your body to build from nothing. The harmony between the two is where vitality is born. The movement required is not the punishing, high-impact exercise of our youth. The goal is not to exhaust the body, but to awaken it. It is about consistency, not intensity. Think of a river. A raging, flooding river can be destructive, but a river that flows gently and consistently carves canyons through stone over time. It is this gentle, consistent flow of energy and movement through the body that maintains its health. This can be as simple as a daily walk, but one taken with awareness. Feel your feet on the ground, notice the subtle shifts in balance, feel the engagement of the muscles in your legs and core. Other practices like Tai Chi, Qigong, or gentle stretching are profoundly effective because they integrate the mind, the breath, and the body. They are not just physical exercises, they are practices of energetic cultivation. They improve circulation, sending that precious, nutrient-rich blood to every cell. They enhance flexibility and balance, reducing the risk of falls. And they communicate a clear message to the body: you are needed, you are valued, you are alive. This communication is key. Every time you consciously engage a muscle, you are sending a signal to it, reminding it of its purpose. This signal is what tells the muscle to take up the building blocks you have provided through your diet. It is a beautiful synergistic loop. The food provides the potential, and the movement actualizes it. This does not require a gym or expensive equipment. It requires only your attention and your willingness to engage with your body in a gentle, respectful, and consistent way. Find a form of movement that you enjoy, one that feels like a gift to your body rather than a punishment. Do it daily, even if only for a few minutes. This consistent, loving request for the body to participate in its own well-being is the catalyst that turns the potential energy of your food into the kinetic, living reality of a strong, capable, and resilient physical form. It is the dance between giving and asking, between nourishment and action. Cultivating resilience. We have now arrived at the core principle, the foundation that most people miss in their search for a single answer. The true path to preserving vitality is not found in a specific food or a particular exercise. It is found in the cultivation of a resilient system. A system is a collection of interconnected parts that work in harmony. Your well-being is a system. It includes your mindset, your nourishment, your consumption habits, and your movement. Focusing on just one of these elements while neglecting the others is like trying to repair one spoke on a wheel and expecting the entire wheel to be strong. It will remain weak and unbalanced. The true secret is the conscious integration of all these elements into a single, cohesive practice of living. This is the holistic understanding that transforms the fight against aging into a graceful dance with life. This integrated system begins with the shift in perspective we first discussed, seeing the body as a garden to be cultivated, not a machine to be fought. From this mindset of compassionate cooperation, the choice for true nourishment naturally arises. We seek out clean, simple, life-affirming foods like legumes, not as a magic pill, but as an appropriate and wise choice for the current season of our life. Then, we honor that choice with the practice of mindful consumption. We create a peaceful environment, we chew thoroughly, we eat with presence. This ensures that the beautiful potential of the food is fully received by our body. Finally, we complete the circle with harmonizing movement, sending a clear, consistent signal to our body that its strength is needed and valued. This creates the demand that pulls the nourishment into the tissues, building and maintaining a strong and capable form. Each part of this system supports and enhances the others. A clear mind makes better food choices. Better food provides the energy for joyful movement. Joyful movement improves mood and clarifies the mind. It is a virtuous cycle. This is what it means to build a house on a strong foundation. The food is not the foundation, the exercise is not the foundation. The foundation is the understanding that these elements must be woven together with conscious awareness. This is the truth that is so often overlooked. People will adopt one habit. They will eat the lentils or they will start walking, but they do so without the underlying shift in perspective, without the mindfulness, without the integration into a complete system. And so the results are temporary and frustrating. They have the right materials, but they are building on sand. True, lasting vitality is the outward reflection of a harmonious inner state. It is the result of a conscious, daily commitment to caring for the entire system, mind, body, and the energy that flows between them. This path requires patience. It requires presence. It requires a deep and abiding respect for yourself. It is not a quick fix, but a lifelong practice. And the reward is not the chasing of a forgotten youth, but the embodiment of a powerful, peaceful, and profound resilience that can carry you through all the seasons of your life with grace and strength. Which part of this journey made you pause and reflect on your own relationship with your body?